I'm Dr. Sharon Saline. Thanks for joining me. This is the first of a weekly live Facebook broadcast for parents, adults, college-age students, and teens if you want, about living successfully with ADHD. And I'll also be talking about interesting stuff related to raising kids and staying sane in the 21st century. Today I'm going to talk about how to find a therapist who understands ADHD. So first of all, I want to say congratulations. If you decide that you want to see a therapist, then you realize that you might need some help. And that's not so easy for many people, including for folks with ADHD, who've spent a lot of time in their lives listening to the ways that they've missed the mark, or they need to do this differently, or they have to correct that. So overcoming your shame and actually saying, you know what, hey, I want to do it a little differently. I don't like these parts of myself is a big step for you. So way to go. How do you find a therapist who knows about ADHD? Well, the first thing that you want to do is talk to someone you trust for a recommendation. And that person hopefully would be your primary care physician, right? They know you, they've had a relationship with you for a long time, and most likely they're connected to people in the community who've worked with other folks with ADHD. So check with them who they would recommend. Perhaps you have a friend who also has ADHD or who doesn't but is in therapy. See if they would be willing to ask their therapist for a recommendation. And if you're a parent and you're in, consultation or dealing with a school and something related to your child and their ADHD, ask them. They definitely have contact with people in the community who work with kids with ADHD. Finally, if none of those routes really pan out, I encourage you to call your insurance company and ask them. But ask them for someone who specializes in ADHD. Here's why this is important. ADHD is a biologically based disorder that impacts the executive functioning skills of everybody. This is important for your therapist to understand because you want someone who knows that time management is an issue for people with ADHD. So being late is not something that's a result of not wanting to come to therapy, but it's a bigger part. It's a small part of a bigger problem, for being able to manage your time and plan successfully. Things that are natural challenges for folks with ADHD. So how do you do this? You want to set aside a time where you're going to call a couple people who are therapists, make a few names, put some questions aside. How do they work? Are they someone who's engaged? Are they someone who's a little bit more of a quiet observer? Are they able to do the dance between investigating and building personal insight and applying those insights in practical ways in your day-to-day life? That's really important if you have ADHD, being able to apply what you learn. And how are you going to do that? Giving you some homework, having pads of paper where you can write notes so you remember things. You want this person to understand that with ADHD there are some limitations in terms of remembering things, and that they are going to help you do that rather than interpret you're not remembering as a sign that you're not engaged in the therapy. I hope these tips are helpful. Please go on my website where I have lots of things about living with ADHD and parenting kids, and sign up for my newsletter, which is a great resource for hopefully you. And I look forward to seeing you next week on Tips with Sharon Saline. Thanks.